Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Last Minute Kickout. I am always Pete Titans Creed Neverco. I haven't changed, not yet. Haven't got my heel persona just yet. I'm still a face. But joining me are the heels themselves of Last Minute Kickout. One, Mr. John Turbo Finley.
Good evening.
And one, Mr. Kevin, the Kevin Eva.
Welcome, you parasites.
Yes, exactly. He's adopted the I was going to say Dean Malenko, but Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose's heel gimmick. Indeed. Yes, we're here to talk about AEW Fyter Fest, the second pay-per-view since the All Elite Wrestling branding, and what a show it was.
I thought it was a pretty good show.
I mean, more so for its main card and whatnot. There was a bit.
Even the pre-show, the buy-in was really good. That tag match was amazing.
I definitely agree on that. But
tag match, amazing. Carry on.
Yes. There's something that we will quickly pass over in.
My biggest problem with the pre-show was the use of the booth babes type things, but I have a feeling it was a shout out to like CEO, something more like that.
I thought the whole point was that it was the gag. It was the gag that it was Kenny Omega getting sort of mad with power, and then trying to put all this stuff in that was like, oh yeah, game, and then because by the second match or whatever, they'd been replaced with just mannequins. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, the whole gimmick on this was to parody another festival called Fyter Fest.
Fyter Fest.
And apparently that was notorious for having all these kind of like
promises and everything else, which are
broken promises.
Because it was all in the Twitter on the lead up to the day. They had this false narrative going on about how Kenny Omega hadn't booked anything properly, and all the wrestlers were being given 2 pieces of bread and a piece of cheese in the burger box as their meal, and it was all a relation to that, yeah. But Kenny actually, one of the backstage skits when he was talking to the Bucks was like, no, it's all gone wrong because I've spent half the money from half our entire budget on our new ring gear, and it's like, I can't even afford any more models or anything like that. It's like it was kind of being played for laughs, but it's still sort of everyone immediately just sort of went, you're not going to go that route. And
if you didn't know what they were getting, it was like a blasé kind of whatever.
Well, see, I didn't follow any of these skits. I literally just watched the program. So,
indeed, and that's a lesson they need to learn. Not everyone's going to see those things.
Like I presume you two watch all the Be the Elite stuff. I don't watch that at all.
So I don't watch any episodes.
I watch most of it, but even so,
I have a feeling
they have to understand not everyone's going to follow that.
I have a feeling it'll be something that's rectified when they start doing TV programming.
Yeah, I think TV will obviously help them establish for their future pay-per-views going forward. So look forward to that in the fall.
After All Out, so I assume there'll still be some more social media presence up until then. But yes, the first match was a three-way team match, not a triple threat, to advance to All Out with an opportunity at a first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And it consisted of the Best Friends against SoCal Uncensored and Private Party. Now, Private Party were the only ones, because obviously on Double or Nothing, I'd seen Best Friends and SoCal Uncensored, so Private Party, I didn't know who they were. But, oh my god, I wanted more of them by the time the match was over.
God, yeah.
It's like,
what a great way
match.
Yeah, what a great way to introduce a hot new tag team. Don't put them over without having them picking up the pinfall or anything. Everybody wanted more. I don't know why one of them was apparently Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man, but apart from that, there was so much to enjoy about that tag match. First match off is Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, and they're getting a push. I'm not quite sure why.
I think it's because of Double or Nothing. their performance there because didn't they win that match at Double or Nothing?
They did.
No, they didn't. Did they?
Yes, they
They
did.
did. They did.
Alright, so it's just building on top of their. Yeah, it's just building on top of their strong win from Double or Nothing to just continue the momentum for them being strong contenders in the tag team division and whatnot. And afterwards, we kind of like understand that they will also have quite a, good storyline going within the company with our friend. I say our friends. The team of not now the Super Smash Brothers, because it would have been nice if they were still called that at this wrestling/gaming event. But no, that was the Dark Order at the very end.
That's going to be their thing moving forward. That was actually one of the things with this particular pay-per-view, even more so than obviously the last one, is that it really was like setting up stories, setting up angles, and setting up feuds for the future.
I have a feeling we're going to see.
Which I'm pretty down for.
I have a feeling we're going to see the Dark Order make an appearance at
All Out.
All Out, yeah.
Yeah, they'll, or at least their minions will show up. One of the two.
Again.
The entire front row will turn out to be members of the Dark Order.
Yeah. But the overall match, I mean, some of the notable stuff, the tag team synergy between all three was just on point. There was I think there was I think it was like SoCal did it was something into an Ace Crusher kind of style, kind of maneuver. That was sweet. That was
what a
really
maneuver.
Then there was a lot of very crisp, very fresh tag team moves and counters as well. There was quite a lot of very impressive counters.
Yeah, and like you said, Pete, the Private Party, they were getting the hot crowd during that match as well. So them and Best Friends, they were competing for the crowd's affection during the whole match. But granted, the crowd was happy no matter who was going to win. And I think
they had my loyalty the second they got announced. Where it was like from a place where you need an invitation. It was like weighing 10 ounces of cranberry or something. It was announced.
That wasn't.
I'm into these guys. That's good.
I'll tell you this much. It was very unique how certain wrestlers did get that kind of uniqueness to their entrances, their denomination of their weight. Like for later on in the show,
a little bit more.
Some of the UK talents was billed in stone.
Yes, that was
So it's fun stuff like that. Fun little nuances, that little shake up here and there for the announcement team.
Just to remind you, he was British. Cool, blimey, governor.
But no, this tag match, awesome match. Definitely a watch.
It's a great way to open the floor, really.
And it's free on YouTube, so go watch the buy-in for this match alone.
Brilliant stuff.
SCU lost again, though.
I think it's because they're so well known that even even Christopher Daniels said in an interview recently, at this point he's considered retiring a lot, but with the opportunity AEW presented,
the wrestling world will not allow Christopher Daniels to retire.
Yeah, but I mean,
Daniels must wrestle literally forever until he is dust.
So I think plus both Best Friends and SoCal were at Double or Nothing, and they were both showcased there. So I'm not entirely surprised that Private Party were put over as much as they were.
Absolutely. Also, again, before we leave, Scorpio Sky didn't get as much as the previous match we talked about. Still, just want to see more of him.
Yes. More of him, please.
Want to see more of every single team in that, which is a great way to kick off.
Indeed. Moving on to the Librarians. This was.
I switched off at this.
I was interested to see where it was going. Apparently, looking up more of this after the point, the librarians are meant to be a play on bookers and just telling people to just be quiet and everything else. So apparently that's what the gimmick is based on. But it was an idea from Tony Khan, apparently, and they liked it so much they went with 2 of them. So it's...
Yeah, well, they announced it. They announced it on Being the Elite as a joke that they were going to have this gimmick, the librarian, and so many people inquired about it that the next episode they sort of went, well, apparently you guys want to do this, so I guess we'll do interviews. And they had people send in the thing, and yeah, that's one of the reasons we've got 2. But to quote somebody in the crowd, this gimmick sucks.
It's definitely interesting to say the least, but
he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
Dead. He's completely dead and ruined Ali debuting, for God's sake. In AEW, Ali deserves so much better than this. And if you haven't seen her work in Impact, I'd check it out. She had some crazy shit going on with Rosemary in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Ali.
And the former Blue Pants being in this librarian gimmick and whatnot. She could be so much better. I mean, granted,
they might just toast the gimmick after this and just allow them to do proper things. Who knows?
Maybe before they break into the Hardy compound or somewhere they say is the Hardy compound, and they just chuck her in the lake because that's something the Bucks would do.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Like, oh yeah, we tricked her in the lake, and woo, look, she's back. She's Blue Pants again.
I think the less said about this match, the better, really. As Kev said,
yeah, it was very forgettable for me.
I straight up switched off.
From a rather forgettable match to a match I think we all want to forget. Michael Nakazawa and Alex Jabali.
If there was ever a call for a pre-show to have a pre-show that wasn't aired, I am actually fine with this match. It was nice. It was nice in that it was specifically for the audience that was there.
Yeah.
Okay? It was specifically for the audience that was there. The fact that we had one of the biggest esports stars in the world get involved is actually really, really big news for AEW. They've got that kind of connection with him handing him the control stick.
Oh, Freddie Wong, yeah.
Yeah. That's legitimately a really big thing for them, and it's that audience that they're really going for, and one of the reasons that WWE is suddenly going, whoop, we're going for teens, Paul.
Yeah, but but the thing is that you don't need to have personalities to that extent to be involved in the product and whatnot. Mostly when people want to get people who are fans of video games into wrestling, just make video game references in the wrestling, which we will see later on.
Yeah,
multiple times.
You have to remember that there is a big difference between someone who would watch Freddie Wong's YouTube channel in general and to someone who would watch Freddie Wong at a wrestling event and be like, "Oh, this is really cool." There's a big difference. Yeah, Freddie Wong is a big YouTuber, my dude. Alex Jabali is the CEO of CEO. Freddie Wong is a YouTuber. Rocket jump and all that.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you can have that kind of personality and whatnot in the crowd,
but there's a big difference. Everything is not as easily segregated in an entertainment world as video games are an entry to wrestling. Yeah, a lot of the time it intertwines quite easily. It
intertwines a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the partnership that WWE has with 2K. Especially in recent years with their tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just the thing. But I don't know. It was playing on something that they did last year, from what I've read from this. So
yeah, it's an angle that was happened last year where Alex Jabali injured himself before him and Nakazawa were going to have a match last year at the last CEO event that was a cross tie-in with um, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and all that.
But it was a little bit of fun, I think.
Yeah, it was just a walk and brawl, and
I don't know. Like, I think this would have been better if it went Librarians, Nakazawa, and ending
then
on the tag match.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with you on the match order this time around. That's why I said if you want to watch the buy-in, just watch the tag match, because the other two matches you could just skip over.
Yeah, Justin Wong is a professional fighter game.
Oh, that too.
Player.
I was quite sure it was Freddie Wong.
No, it's Justin Wong. Justin Wong, which is why I was slightly confused. No, as I was saying, this match had its place. The crowd was into it. The crowd, don't make this mistake, the crowd was into it. It would have been fine to have it not broadcasted, and maybe they could have chucked it on the AEW YouTube at a later date. Maybe. Having it in the actual thing, it kind of brought the whole thing down and started bringing that sort of weird
I think it was fine where it was in terms of the pre-show. It wasn't on the main card, so I mean, it being available to free view or for people who are at CO and everything else like that is a different thing. I just think the card for the pre-show should have been moved around a little bit. That's all.
Flipped it because the last thing to sell you on buying this pay-per-view is that match.
Yeah, it is a bad thing to kind of like try to sell you on, even though you had John Moxley afterwards with his small little promo say, "Leave the stuff there." What? He's gonna be using blooming play sticks and God knows what else, and thongs in his death match later on.
Yes, he is. All right, filled with barbed wire.
But yeah. Moving on to the main card, we open with Seema defeating Christopher Daniels. Kind of a rematch from Double or Nothing, but just in a singles variety this time.
Yeah.
As was mentioned many times in the commentary, these two have faced each other many times all over the world, and obviously it was they were fighting for something. They were fighting for the right to face Omega, fight for the Fallen. Yeah. And both of them really wanted that opportunity. So they had that going for them. This was a great match.
Yeah. I mean,
two very well-seasoned professionals just showcasing what they could do.
It was very good. Really good way to open the card, I thought.
If people were just skipping the buy-in, this was a good starting point for the main show. Daniel's obviously still in top form. With his work rate and whatnot is crazy. How he's obviously just those grizzled veterans that could still go essentially.
It's going to be interesting to see what Daniels does because it feels like he's literally putting talent over at this point. And I think he knows that while him versus Omega a fight for the Fallen would be absolutely amazing, none of them have got anything to gain at that point from a match between those two. Like, they have no need to put each other over.
It behooves them more to put in position the guy who's training all the OWE guys, because he's going to be one of their linchpin contacts going forward. Mm-hmm. And if you make him a powerful and people go, okay, this guy can beat Christopher Daniels. So what's he teaching these other younger Chinese wrestlers coming through this, as I said, this first generation of Chinese wrestlers?
Yeah.
That's going to be quite something to see. And then you've got this, again, it's another story moving forward in terms of the SCU versus OWE contingent that story's not going to go away either as well, but look at things.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll see a lot more of that as well as time goes on. Riho, Yuka Sakazaki, and Nyla Rose. An interesting three-way match. I keep saying triple threat. WWE programming is just in my brain.
Yeah.
An interesting three-way match.
Wow.
Yeah. What did you guys think of this one?
It was a bit sloppy at times, but it was all right. I mean
I think it was
Rio-
definitely better than the
tag
team
match.
match that at
Yeah,
Double or Nothing.
I'll definitely agree to that. It was definitely not as sloppy as that one, but the notable spots was very good. I mean, Rose showing her dominant power in the match was evident, especially that the double kind of like holding of both Rio and
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yuka. Aye.
What great strength and balance as well to maintain that. To take a crossbody where you've already got somebody crossbodied and catch them.
Yeah.
Obscene.
And then
strength.
just slam. Or was it an overhead? I think it was an overhead. I can't remember, but still.
I think I was too busy just going. Just like, oh, that was it. That was what I went to say. Back to Private Party. The first things they said, apart from obviously the introduction, the first things they said was, these guys are trained by Amazing Red.
Who?
Boom, done. Amazing Red, never really hit in WWE or anything, but elsewhere on the indie scene, particularly had runs in TNA. One of the best high flyers there has ever been in the ring in terms of speed and just gymnastic ability. Could do ridiculous things. And you could see, if you've ever seen any of his matches, you could see that influence in Private Party. And if he's training them, and they're like that already, we got a special tag team on our hands.
Okay.
Enough. Keep your eyes on them, I suppose. Then.
Yep.
But yeah, back to the women's match. I was thinking that Yuki would get the win here, but no, Rio was continuing again, like best friends were continuing their dominance, or her dominance this time around, by getting the pin on Nia Rose. And of course, Nia Rose, obviously being the heel in this thing, also being Orchid from
Killer Instinct.
From Killer Instinct. Released her Killer Instinct by trying to beat up on Rio. And then the bit at the end was really, really questioning. It's like I was really wondering what the heck happened between Rio and Yuki there. It's like where Rio just pushed her away. And it's like, I don't want your help. And she was literally...
They upset the magical girl.
Yeah. I was legitimately...
Outrageously! You made the magical girl cry. You are now a heel.
Yeah. It's like, I was kind of wondering, it's like, what the heck? What? And the poor girl had that kind of like, that anguished face of like being heartbroken and disappointed.
Somebody kicked her puppy.
Yeah.
Somebody kicked her puppy, basically.
Something like that. And that is obviously got to be a storyline going forward, I think.
Good.
I think that might be going into All Out, I think.
What I quite liked during that match was Nyla Rose was the heel.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't come out as the heel.
Yeah.
The crowd decided she was the heel the second she started offense on the two slight girls. And there was this thing. As she came out, everyone was cheering and everything, and everyone was ready for the knockout. And then she started dominating, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm doing." She was really proud and really happy that she was doing well. He's like, "Okay, I kind of got it." And then she noticed she reacted to the crowd because there was a booing because it's the big girl beating up the slight girl. Oh no, that's bullying! And she was looking at them like she was looking at the crowd like I was just confused. I was like, "Why are you booing me?"
It's almost like certain mental programming has been in place for many years.
And as a result, then she started doing heely stuff. Then she started taking things a little bit more physical in reaction to the crowd, and she was kept looking at the crowd. And one of the reasons why she was in the match, as the commentary was saying, is like, why is she doing all this? Why is she not taking the pinfall because the character was reacting to the audience. Yeah, in terms of, you can't do it. It says, oh, can't I? Well, watch me, including that really good move off the top that she did. But yeah, that's a thing going forward. And then afterwards, she was full blown heel when she attacked Rio from behind, of course.
Yeah. But there was a couple of like missed times at points in the match, like in last time. But again, not as bad as last time where they were in the big tag match and whatnot. But overall, I did actually enjoy this match quite a bit. So. Yeah. They
slipped it into a cradle. They slipped it into a go behind into a slam or something. They fixed it in a hurry, basically. Yeah. Lots of good stuff going forward.
Absolutely. Moving on to an amazing match. Adam Page versus Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus.
Riding Luchasaurus! Announced as riding Luchasaurus to the ring.
And MJF in a 4-way match. I believe there was a reward for whoever won this match as well.
Yes, the winner would get to face Kip Sabian at Fight for the Fallen.
Who was on commentary for this.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of commentary itself was a heck of a lot better this time.
Oh, yeah.
And that included having Golden Boy on it, who is not a wrestling commentator and was infinitesimally better than the previous guy.
Yeah.
Can we have him back, please?
Yeah, please sign him to AEW.
He's clearly got the knack of it and was listening well.
Yeah, he's got passion, which is what you need in that position and whatnot. Because JR can only dish out so much. In his
JR was good. Excalibur was.
I mean, we mentioned this at the end of Double or Nothing, where it felt like JR was only alive towards like the end of the stuff, but he was pretty good throughout.
No, he was invested, and he was selling again. He was it was very WWE, but he was selling the stories of everything that was going on, particularly Darby Allin. His story and his interactions later, who I keep reading as Darby All In.
Oh yeah, I kind of read it.
We were talking about being mentally trained. Those letters are supposed to be all in this company. But we'll get to that. But yeah, JR was a lot better as well, as you mentioned. What did you think? What do you think of Excalibur this time around, Pete?
He was a little bit more passive over the course of the evening. It felt like in Double or Nothing, he seemed to be pretty much the voice. Like he was quite loud compared to everybody else. And this one, he was quite subdued, very passive, and letting everybody else talk a lot more and everything else. That's what it came across.
I don't know, because we know that we know from previous social that's been going on that this was prior to Double or Nothing, that they'd had, as Cody put it, commentary drills. Where they actually had the team there just commentating on recorded matches and then just feeding back on it prior to stuff. I just wonder if those have sort of come in a bit more in the time since. Maybe they've got some archive footage or something somewhere that they're going to release at a later date. But it's JR did say after Double Nothing that it was day one, essentially, and things would improve. Things will improve, but even further. But I don't know about you boys, but I'm interested to see how the next one goes with Fight for the Fallen, if it snaps back to the previous three.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
If they do bring back, although the one who is on the pre-show commentary, I can't mind his name. That was among Golden Boy and Excalibur. He was all right.
Logan Sammer.
Yeah, if he's part of the team,
he's good in that position as like the pre-show guy, the fill-in for JR or whoever.
Mm-hmm. But no, if Golden Boy isn't part of the the main commentary team going forward,
Mm-hmm.
and they have him instead. Him, JR, and Excalibur. It's like, that'd be a decent combination to go forward with.
Just that.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with 3-man commentary desks, to be honest. It's too many.
A lot of people have said that recently. I think JR might have even said it recently.
It's too many voices. I mean, this is funny since we're a 3-man podcast as well. But I mean, it's a lot of the time when it comes to that, when it comes to wrestling commentary, it's too many voices arguing for stuff. When it's at least a 2-man booth, you've literally got the idyllic face, you've got the idyllic heel commentator, and both people get their time to get the voices over. Whereas taking WWE as an example, you've got Michael Cole, who is essentially the ringleader and the ad read voice, and you've got Corey Graves as the heel, and you've got oh my god,
is Corey Graves a heel?
Saxon.
Corey Graves is very much a heel commentator.
Is Corey Graves a heel, or is he an absolute twat?
I mean, he's the best commentator in the universe according to Paul Heyman.
He's the voice. He's the voice of WWE.
Yeah, it's too many voices arguing for air, and they all just mumble over themselves, and you can tell that even they're not taking it very competently, professionally either, because they just break down laughing altogether at stages, and it's just like it's nothing. You even when Lawler was trying to be humorous back in the day, JR wouldn't laugh. He'd just tell him to pipe down and just concentrate on the match.
JR's thing was to sort of to drolfully
real big things.
Yeah, he's just like, really.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, JR's non-reaction made it funnier.
Exactly. I'm just done with 3-man commentary booths. I'll be honest. I've had enough. I've had enough for a while.
If they want, if they do choose, 2-man commentary for the TV going forward, by the time TV comes around. I mean,
two-man commentary works very well on New Japan. It works very well in the British wrestling. I don't understand this necessity to have a 3-man booth. I don't understand why it's become a thing.
I don't know why it's the norm in the US.
It's not even all of the US, is it? I'm quite sure.
I'm sure
AAA and do Impact.
Well, that's Mexico.
Yeah, but does it Impact?
I wonder if it's come in slightly more as the shows have got longer.
You need to have
to give people more of a break between stuff.
If that's slightly a reaction to it,
maybe. But then, in
which case, AEW even more should have a 2-man booth.
If that's the case for WrestleMania, they should have 5 men in the bloody booth if they don't want.
Well, no, they split. They've
got hundreds. They've got hundreds. Yeah. They've got ones from a trio or a duet.
You've got a trio for
every country.
You have a trio. Yeah, you have a trio for the English-speaking audience and a duo for every other thing.
Yeah. Welcome. Look.
Anyway,
now the German announce table. When the hell did we ever need a German announce table?
Exactly. I mean, why the hell?
We're getting off topic.
Yeah. Cody with Brandy Rhodes against Darby Allin. What an interesting match. Darby Allin was the unknown in this, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is
pretty much.
Yeah, big. In like debuts, sort of like a debut on a main stage, essentially. Because I don't think he's had.
We didn't even talk about the 4-way.
Oh,
did we not?
No.
Did we just literally have this?
No, we
just had that tangent about the commentaries.
Yeah, Adam Page.
Yes, bloody hell. I hope they're not listening to this and they're going, "Can you skip it over our matches? What the fuck?"
No, they're here for the banter and the discussions as well, and that was a really interesting discussion, which is it.
Yeah, but the match itself, oh jeez, it was really good, and it's like Jungle Boy. Oh god, that flip Jungle Boy did from the turnbuckle.
Reverse cannonball off the top.
I seriously thought he necked himself on that thing, but luckily enough, he was able to. He didn't overshoot it or undershoot it and whatnot. He did flick whatever was on the top of the ring post off, which like some rubber covering that was there and whatnot. So luckily that was the only thing that flew. Hopefully no one got hit by it. But some of the stuff there, you were saying, Luchasaurus, bringing Jungle Boy to the ring, and he was also helping him out a couple of times, like trying to get him back into the ring after he was gotta be knocked down from the apron at times. And Hangman Page is like a man of that size being able to do several of those moves that he does, especially his signatures, like his buckshot lariat is just a really impressive thing to do, for him to just flip over the ropes and just do that massive lariat clothesline. It's massive. What was it? MJF, bastard of all people. It's like, and he loves it, which is great.
Lots of people love it.
Yeah,
he is essentially, for those who aren't watching AEW and are with WWE Project, he's the Miz if the Miz's heel persona was let off the chain.
Yeah,
and was British.
Yes, it's the best. It's the best way to put it. Like,
no wonder he's so good.
There was so much to like about this in terms of even Jimmy Havoc doing his thing.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Havoc.
He was the one who Turbo mentioned was introduced and was his weight was in stone. He actually had a nasty bump as well in terms of landing pretty much square on his head.
Oof.
That made me wince. I don't know about you if you saw it.
I think I can recall what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What was it? Jungle Boy did that really good sunset. It was like a flip sunset, kind of like powerbomb from the second rope or something like that. It's like, what maneuverability of him? Like he's definitely, if they can ever introduce like a mid card title, him having that kind of like mid card run off, that would be amazing. I feel. Because he can pull off some really good mid-card matches with, any of the talent that are in that card. I
don't know. I think everybody in this match has the ability to be a main card draw.
Well, I know Hangman Page definitely. And of course, for his win in this match, he needed this win to keep his momentum going and whatnot.
Yeah, obviously. But MJF has got main draw potential. Jimmy Havoc has got main draw potential, especially against. I assume more earlier than not, there'll be a match between him and John Moxley.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. And Jungle Boy's got the ability to be in the main card. Like this.
You feel so?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would think that him and Luchasaurus would probably have like a good tag team run. I would think.
Yeah, the same time, but I still think that they both could have some pretty good. I mean, even in the Battle Royal, Luchasaurus looked quite impressive, and there was not much that looked impressive in that Battle Royal, I must admit.
Let's remember here that AEW are trying to go for an Attitude Era feel, and the best time the Attitude Era had was when it had multiple top names going for the belt and just pushing the champion week in and week out. Having a top bill of those stars pushing that champion, could be amazing.
They're looking for everybody to build everybody.
Exactly.
They're looking for everybody to come up. They've got quite a lot of guys who are relatively new, kind of green or all green. Some of them they've signed purely on the feel and purely on what you think they can do from a character point of view and stuff like that. They're looking to build this group up together to make AEW, and you've got sort of key guys at the top that you've got now, and then who can work with them to bring them up. That's ultimately what SCU are there for, which is what Pete mentioned. Sorry. That's going to be what the Young Bucks are going to be. The Young Bucks will be at the top, but the Young Bucks are going to be they will be down as the measuring stick.
Yeah.
And likewise, you've got
Chris Jericho.
You got Jericho who'll do Chris Jericho will be Chris Jericho, and will have landmark program with anybody you throw at them, throw at him rather. You've also got Cody and Omega as also gatekeepers for the talent at different levels, and they can swap over as the need arises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a good match.
Oh yeah. Just overall brilliant match.
I've been trying to remember who Paige reminds me of. I
have no idea.
It's Magnum. It's Magnum TA.
Oh,
It reminds me of Magnum TA.
I was going to say possibly Stan Hansen, like a more
in terms of lariat and stuff. Yeah. But in terms of just how he moves for such a big man, the threat he's got, and again, some of the moves he does. Obviously, more athletic, than Stan or Magnum, but somewhere in between, he's in that bracket, isn't he?
Yeah.
In terms of talent
well, to lack of a better word, a new generation star of that old school, power with new school.
It was So those two, and then it sort of went via old Bradshaw a bit.
And
then sort of he's the next in that line. So it should be good things.
Yeah.
And who knows? He'll hold the title on the second show for a year and a half.
Absolutely, but
because Cody Rhodes didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Cody with Brandy Rhodes against Darby Allin.
Oh my God, what a match this was!
Yeah, like Darby Allin was a superstar for this. Like in such a high profile match out of the gate to go against Cody Rhodes. What a way to start him off! And
they see something in this kid. And
oh yeah. Like the character gimmick alone is like a guy without a care in the world. Doesn't care about himself. Doesn't care about the world. He just
doesn't trust you. Doesn't trust anybody. Doesn't want to be. The blurring of the line to the point that there is no line.
Yeah.
Immediate. Everyone immediately bought into the character in terms of his look, in terms of the way he was like just sitting in the corner, quite Raven-esque actually.
I was going to say, very Raven
with the hood on and just sort of
brooding.
Yeah, quite literally about everything. There was as JR will say, there is something not quite right there. And you want to do. It's not a question of you want to cheer the guy or boo the guy. You want to do something about it. And I've never had that with a wrestler before. That to the point where their character is such that you want to almost like step in, stop that, and say this guy needs help in a different way than what you would normally see as a wrestler needing help, either in storyline or real life. That there's something wrong there. And you can see it in his eyes, and you can see it in his walk.
Yeah,
but
it's a new psychology there for a character there,
absolutely.
And that's really good. It's something fresh.
What was slightly fresh, I guess, in terms of a mainstream American pay-per-view was time limits coming back.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
Which, first when I sort of heard it, I was going 20-minute time limit, and I'm like, excuse me?
It was a big point.
We don't do this anymore.
It was a big point of contention on the internet after it happened, because people were like, "Oh, it's fine. It's literally just there to let people know the show's not going to overrun, etc., etc." And then this one actually went to a time limit. It actually came out of nowhere, which was more astounding than anything else, because it just happened.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't really paying too much attention to the time limits and whatnot, but
because
then
the time went like that as well, and that was one of the things they pointed out in the commentary. Was like, wow, is it gone? We already had this time?
Yeah, we're already halfway through this match.
Yeah, and it's like old school WCW when we had the time limit, because that with Justin calling out the time checks. Yeah. 10 minutes left. 5 minutes left. 1 minute left. It just adds to the tension, and then you get Cody reacting, going, "Wait, no!" And then all of a sudden, okay, now he's got to end this. It was just another additional thing,
and it also makes sense because what was it? The ringside area, where the bell is. It's called the Timekeeper's area.
Always has been. It's always been there. It's still there now.
Yeah.
It's like, just to measure. It's a legacy thing.
Yeah. Now it's obviously making more sense to have a timekeeper there, keep time and track it, and if it's a time limit kind of like thing, then it makes sense. So it's good. It's good that time.
Smart way to use that as well.
Oh yeah,
because you protected Cody.
Yeah,
you had Cody's now got a thing because there's this guy he can't beat.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't beat him.
Yeah.
He didn't beat him. He didn't win. The other guy didn't win either.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Cody didn't beat this guy, and whilst it's not 1-1 on the body bag like he intended to, it is 1-1. It's 1-1-0.
Yeah.
Because it's a draw, and that's going to be something going forward.
Cody did technically get beaten after the match by one now contracted Sean Spears, the perfect 10.
The perfect 10, just sadly not the perfect chair shot.
Well, it really depends. Again, this is something that's come out after it, and now I'm not sure if it's whether because obviously the chair shots were a contention as well because they were very head-based chair shots, which obviously WWE have. They've banned them after the whole concussion thing.
Right, and rightly so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Rightly so.
Now, the Bucks have come out and said that they claimed in an interview after the event that the chair was gimmicked in order to make the chair shot look unprotected while remaining safe, but something went wrong, which caused their head laceration.
I can tell you exactly what happened. It was the top bit of the chair because he was obviously going to hit him with that, but as he brought the chair down, and the top bit of the chair, where it curves into the top of the backrest, boom, and dug in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you can kind of see it on the replay, and that looks gruesome.
Yeah, it just
it is a bit flappy. Sliced him, and it was a bit flappy there. Nasty. And result was Cody with 12 staples. He had no concussion at all.
10 apparently.
10. It did go down.
Yeah, go down.
Excellent. You remember he lost 2 already.
He
put 2 staples over.
The page I am looking at does say 12, so
it might well have been corrected. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, you had that's ultimately why it went wrong because maybe that bit wasn't gimmick, but it's still a curved piece of metal. It still had an edge on it, and the result was ka-chung. But what I thought was interesting was the reason why. Did you guys see this?
No, I heard about it.
Yeah. So on Twitter, during Sean Spears actually posted a video clip. It's like 2 seconds. 2 seconds, 2 or 3 second snippet from either from one of the behind the scenes videos, I think.
Mm-hmm. It was like one of the episodes of Being the Elite,
or Being the Elite, one of the two. And Sean and Cody's behind the desk, and he's talking about Sean Spears, and he said he's a great guy, hell of a hand. And it's that the character has taken offense to. That how dare you just say I'm just I'm just a guy who makes up the cards. And then he'll be going there into full blown. I am perfection. I'm not. I am the hand. Something like that. It gives him. That's the reason why he's attacked. Yeah. That's the reason why he's. And then there's a justification there in terms of the character. So another little scenes that they're using.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're getting very clever with these things in terms of the YouTube stuff. So
they're doing their promotion very well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
But yes, we've got the next match was the Lucha Brothers of Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix with the Laredo Kid. I think it's his first AEW appearance.
Yes, it was.
So,
he was the mystery opponent.
To replace Pac.
To replace
Pac because Pac's been
to replace Pac, and he was
versus
announced
the Elite Street Fighters.
I love this.
Yeah, I loved it just because it was playing towards stuff, but they're all big games. And then they had Kenny Akuma murdering a takeoff of the guy who did the Batista thing and on WWE that time, murdering a takeoff.
Many people didn't get that, but or many people didn't get the reference. So say, okay, why is he lying? And say, Omega is Akuma. He just
murdered him.
He just destroyed his soul. He's dead now.
That's it. It's done. It's over.
I thought like he was going to come out as Sagat until he did the whole until it obviously went black, and then we heard the thing. But it was pretty cool. I especially liked. Oh my goodness, my brain is farting right now. The ring announcer doing the.
Justin Roberts doing that.
Yeah, well,
round one fight, and he was like he didn't know he couldn't understand why. So it's just a shame he couldn't do it in the more mannerisms of what it is.
He did well enough,
they
had to pretend he didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Justin Roberts plays. I mean, was Justin Roberts on Up Down Down in one of the early ones? I think
maybe.
I think
kind of mind.
If you can find that and prove that I'm right, good. It doesn't matter, but yeah, that was a nice sort of thing. Again, the crowd popped for it because it was just more sort of in gaming references, and that continued during the match when we had the triple Hadoken. But beyond that, really, really good match.
Again, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Dragons. Look, that's a different team altogether.
That's different entirely. Pentagon would murder the Lucha Dragon.
Yeah, but no, the Lucha Brothers. There. Oh, jeez, the moves that all of them were doing. I think. Who did the Spanish fly off of the ring ropes onto the
I think that was it was either Phoenix or Laredo Kid, one of the two.
Yeah, I either two. Oh, that was just crazy.
There was a lot of oh my goodness, you can't do that.
Yeah,
in the match, and again we had some
Code Reds.
Code. We had a couple of Code Reds doing the pay-per-view, didn't we? And they were never called Code Red; they're all called something else.
They're either Canadian Destroyers or Code Reds.
No, it wasn't Canadian. It wasn't Canadian Destroyer. It was just Destroyer. Just Destroyer. And hey, it was all good. We had, but again, we still had some ongoing storylines in terms of Nick. I think it is. I think Nick wanting to sort of trying to outdo them. Nick wanting to out-lucha them was a thing. We had Matt Jackson and the ongoing saga of his back, which has been going this supposed week back that's been going on for goodness knows how long, and perhaps the ultimate payoff of that when he was doing the just Northern Light suplex. Oh wait, double Northern Light suplex and getting up. He actually jammed his neck right at the start of that as well. If you noticed, he was like that for a lot of it, and he was like trying to shake off his right arm. Might have got a bit of a stinger.
Yeah.
Oof.
But great, but a really really good one, and we had a fight forever chant.
Yes, we did.
These guys probably could. It went 20 minutes 29 seconds. Again, a match that just went like that, or seemed to, because it was just so damn good.
And Omega getting the decisive win on the new kid. I mean, granted, it's like
Well, you say decisive win. It has been confirmed at the next AAA event, Triple Mania 27, that there's going to be a rematch between these two teams. So
All
If that's
right.
a thing you want to see again, then
They can trade. It's one of these things where they can just trade wins back. Doesn't weaken any of them.
no, absolutely.
No.
And
But
they
yeah,
also when you pointed out, Pete, in terms of Omega getting the win, they made a very big point about putting over the one-winged angel.
Yes.
One-winged angel. Because they said, V-Trigger. They put over V-Trigger quite a lot, actually, but they never mentioned about why it's called the V-Trigger.
yeah.
Bizarrely.
I've got a question about this because it was either the same Double or Nothing stuff, or I'm quite sure it was a WWE show I was watching. But there were a lot of like things that has just started being called V triggers now. Like even though it's very clearly just an Omega thing, like there have been other wrestlers who have had stuff called V triggers.
Yeah, Seth Rollins has obviously tried his own V trigger.
Is that the ripcord knee by any chance?
Yes, it was.
But it was literally called by a commentator as a V trigger.
It might well have been done accidentally, yeah. Apparently WWE even mentioned AEW by accident on their Instagram thing the other day. It's like, that'll get somebody fired.
But it's obviously Kenny Omega's because obviously V triggers the video game term for it's a Street Fighter.
It's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It's a Street Fighter related.
But yeah.
But the fact that they've put the commentary are really strong. I mean, JR was going throwing everything at them. There's the only thing that's going to really decide is if he can get the one-wing angel out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, perhaps he's heard you, JR, because he goes up and that was the thing. So we're starting to build up that as the ultimate finisher again.
Yeah. But it was a very good match.
Very, very good match.
And
indeed.
That was the end of the card.
That was indeed the end of the card. That was the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of AEW Fyter Fest. Then something else happened.
Yep. So the lights went off, and then the lights came back up again, and we had a non-sanctioned match between Jon Moxley and Joey Janela.
Old school terms, lights out.
Yep, and it was a very death match.
Oh, there you go.
Death match.
Ooh.
This was fun.
It was gruesome. It was gruesome, but it was probably the most violent match on a major kind of like platform in.
It's definitely something
that
they're doing before they're on a network.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like obviously as Cain mentioned after the stream and whatnot, something like that is not going to happen on general network TV.
Not TV. Pay-per-views, on the other hand, it's
all game on pay-per-view and whatnot. But even on pay-per-view and whatnot, WWE has never done that because obviously if they're PG kind of like rating, but this time around, obviously with them aiming for TV 14 kind of like audience.
Mm-hmm.
To raise the bar, to keep the bar higher than WWE, they have to bust out a very special kind of match, and this is one of those moments of having that special match to say we are more. We're gonna give you more, but of course we're not gonna give it to you all the time. This is like that. It's like having that one special drink.
Elven wine.
Yeah, it's like an elven wine. Yeah, just
watch last minute continue stuff to get the joke.
Yeah, it's that one heavy special drink that you savor for one night in a blue moon and whatnot. It's just you savor it and you nice it, and that's what this match was. It was that rare occurrence of something that goes beyond the limits of your typical kind of like
to go even further
match.
Beyond.
Yeah.
So in a previous show, talking about another wrestling federation, as it were, we did discuss the sheer awfulness of Mr. Randall Keith Orton sticking a screwdriver in the hole in a wrestler's ear and going twist.
Yeah.
Did we say it was awful? Did we say it was awful? I thought I said I quite enjoyed it. I thought it said it was very inventive and different.
It was very different, but we did all agree it was sick.
Yeah, it was queasy.
I would like to raise as a counterpoint to that, to be held in the same discussion. Moxley taking off Janela's boots and socks to expose his bare feet, then dropping him deliberately, feet first, onto thumbtacks, so that his feet end up being full of thumbtacks.
And with a person who has issues with his own feet, being very sensitive at times, that hurt me. That hurt me a lot.
The look on Janela's face, it looked like his eyes were trying to open to scream. It was like every pain center in his body was simultaneously active as he just sat there going.
Didn't Moxley then go get a second bag of thumbtacks?
Yeah. And he was like, "This isn't enough. We'll get a second bag of thumbtacks." And then he did he gave him a Well, it's not the Dirty Deeds anymore. It's the Paradigm Shift. Into that, he ended up taking more of the thumbtacks than Janela did. But
so much so that one actually was spat out of his mouth.
Yeah, somehow he got one in his mouth from that. How?
Magic.
It's going to be another mystery. You know how like Mick Foley's tooth got in his nose.
That's a good point. Yeah,
this one of these wrestling magic tricks. Try and figure out how it was done. That somehow by giving him a DDT, being face upwards, he somehow got a tack in his mouth.
It bounced off the mat. Just went up.
It was really good. Showcased both of their strengths, really.
Yeah.
John Moxley pulled off the win on that one. 20 minutes on the dot, it seems.
No shock there.
Yep. Still, got to build him up strong, haven't they? So
yeah. I'll tell you what, Janela got to look really good. I just thought it was good. I think a lot of people thought that match was going to be an absolute slaughter.
Yep.
Yeah, absolute slaughter, and it wasn't. He showed determination. He was like, he'd been beaten up, and he was terrified, which befits the character. But they flipped him off and immediately Moxley went through a gear because he was just like he'd been sort of like doing half-heartedly before, and then he sort of went and his face changed, his demeanor changed, and he got sort of redder. Not Brock Lesnar red, thank God, but he suddenly went through like a couple of gears and like, okay, now it's serious, and it was sort of that us into the next half of the match.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so. Violent as all hell, but we had a receipt in store.
Yes, a well delayed receipt, being that Kenny Omega came down and got his revenge on Moxley after his attack at Double or Nothing.
Keep this going. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, so pretty much taking the brawl to the entertainment side, using the musical instruments that were there.
I've got to say that in terms of an attack, it was really crap.
It was a bit lackluster.
It was, Don't pick up a guitar. Yeah, pick up a guitar. You then hit the bastard with it. Okay, if you want to see we'll see a really good use of a musical setup as weapons. Find Cain versus Taker, where Cain gets taken out and Taker is finally able to have a go at Paul Bearer, where he sticks a drum on his head, bashes him in the face with the cymbals, and leaves him in a bloody mess. Okay? He just completely sticks the drum straight out.
Yeah,
proper cartoony, boom!
Yeah.
And he just came out like Paul Bearer selling like Paul Bearer can.
Absolutely.
But it was kind of lackluster. It didn't have the snap and it didn't have the violence of we had at the end of Double or Nothing with the then Dirty Deeds on top of the poker chip stack and then the fling off to the side through the perspex. Yeah. It was sort of like.
Would you have preferred like a one-winged angel into the little kiddie pool?
I
is that what
would've-
No, no, but I appreciate the call back to the Jericho match though, with the sticking the table on top of it, and then just doing a stomp off onto the broken table.
Yeah.
That was a nice little callback. But I think it needed something slightly more. But it needed him to bust Moxley open. Really, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those ones where it needed color.
Yeah, I agree. And he was already through that death match already. He wasn't showing that much color anyway at the end of that match. So if he did,
the smear on his cheek from somewhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't really anything.
It was probably from. Well, we forgot to mention it's like the barbed wire chair. Probably
barbed wire chair, barbed wire board. That was such a lovely detail. Which they picked up a commentary. It's like, why are these bloody rags on the chair? Oh wait, it's his blood from when he cut himself wrapping the barbed wire around the chair.
Yeah.
It's these scraps of paper with dried blood on them. Absolutely. This is a man of absolute violence.
But yes, that was
good.
That was AEW Fyter Fest. It was very, very good. Very good. If you're going to watch it, I would suggest doing so. It's very good to watch and everything else, and it maintains AEW standard with the exception of the pre-show not being strong, but it's an extra 3 matches essentially, and one of them is very, very good. Yeah. Ratings, Mr. Kevin.
Oh, I am torn on this one. I'm going to say a very conservative because there was there that we didn't. And if we're going to count the pre-show, as much as they had this fantastic match, we did have then a nonsense thing, and then a very big nonsense thing. An 8.5.
An 8.5 is really strong. John?
Rest was so good.
I was going to say, I was the same. That exactly the same as Kev. I was teetering between either a 9 or an 8.5, but I think 8.5 is strong for that because of the exact same reason. So yeah, I'll say the same, 8.5.
Wow, I was just going to give it an 8. Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
2 8.5s and an 8. That's very good, strong showing.
Considering it's still AEW being quite strong after those first two official outings from the promotion. So it's just keep it nice and steady.
There is so much from that show that I want to see followed up on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Darby Allin, never do that coffin drop from the top onto the bloody apron ever again, please.
Yeah, totally forgot about that.
So,
oh my god.
Yes, we'll wrap it up here.
Please no.
It's been an interesting chat about Fyter Fest. Mr. Turbo, where can they find you on the social medias?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TurboXLR, all in capitals there. And you can also find me streaming on Twitch, which is at www.twitch.tv/TurboDrive Live, where I'm streaming every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. UK time.
Mr. Kev.
You can find me on Twitter at @TheKevinEva. You can find Last Minute Continue, our gaming channel where we do all manner of bits, and you can get to see these two fine gentlemen to my left or right, depending upon where you're seeing me on at the moment. Let's plays from them and by me. You can find our Twitter at LastMinContinue. For the three of us, for Last Minute Kickout, of course, our Twitter is at Faces in Peril, or at Face and Two Heels in Peril. I don't know, I guess, based upon what Pete said at the beginning. We're on twitch.tv/Last Minute Continue, youtube.com/Last Minute Continue. There's lots and lots of stuff to enjoy. Please do.
Absolutely. You can find me at Titans Creed as my main Twitter. You can find at Gaming Phoenix, which is literally for all the YouTube and the gaming stuff. You can find my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Project Phoenix Productions. You can find me on Twitch 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Project Phoenix Productions. The next time you see us, it's going to be a very busy wrestling weekend because the next show is, in fact, AEW Fight for the Fallen on July the 13th, I want to say, followed by Extreme Rules 2009 on July the 14th. It's a very busy wrestling weekend. And our episodes will be slightly late because myself and Mr. Turbo are away at a convention that weekend. If you are at CoxCon in Telford, you can come up and see us. We'll be just generally round on the floor and everything else. Unfortunately, Mr. Kev won't join us because he's a busy man that has work to do. But real life calls, unfortunately. But if you do see me or Turbo and you listen to this and you're going to CoxCon, feel free to come say hello and everything else. We'll give you a high five, fist bump, and everything else. Other than that, we will see you in a couple of weeks' time for the next couple of episodes, it seems. So, from myself, from Kevin, from John, peace out. Stay strong.
See you guys.